Red Pill disclaimer. Welcome to Gawdzell's channel. By watching this video, you are choosing to take the red pill and see how deep the rabbit hole goes. All opinions expressed are Gawdzell's alone, and any copyrighted content belongs to its respective owners. Viewer discretion is advised.
Can you see it now? Can you see the Matrix for what it truly is?
Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another one. You already know what we're about to get into on this channel. So let's get right into the video.
Drink every weekend or
every day?
You drink every day? Holy crap.
You don't get a gut like this without it.
Yeah, I'm actually 8 years sober, so I just try to hang out, plant little seeds. You struggling with it?
Oh, just fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like basketball, video games, play with my kids. Those are fun things too.
Yeah, I run a lot.
Don't require a substance, Bob. We do like a can a day or six-pack a day. Handle.
Yeah, it just depends how I feel.
How the day went.
Yeah. No, it's just.
Okay.
I don't get addicted to anything. I just like to do what I want.
Well, I do run a program. I got a program, 6-week boot camp, Bob, and I got a slot open.
Well, I do run a program. The way you say it, though,
Oh,
so
okay.
funny.
I'm not as strong.
That is hilarious.
You wake up feeling fine and all that?
I don't drink till 5.
Oh, 5 in the afternoon or 5 a.m.?
5 afternoon.
Oh, okay. Hey, do you got $1?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't got $1? Here you go, Bo. Drink every weekend.
Everything is controlled by the microbiome. The microbiome is this whole ecosystem of bugs in your gut that's so critical for regulating immunity, for regulating cancer risk, heart disease risk, diabetes, even dementia. And what's interesting is that if you eat pomegranate, the metabolite of pomegranate is called urolithin A. And this compound is an anti-aging compound. It enhances fitness, VO2 max, and also mitophagy without even exercising. Everything is controlled by the microbiome. The microbiome is this whole ecosystem of bugs in your gut that's so critical for regulating immunity, for regulating cancer risk, heart disease risk, diabetes, even dementia. And what's interesting is that if you eat pomegranate, the metabolite of pomegranate is called urolithin A. And this compound is an anti-aging compound. It enhances fitness, VO2 max, and also mitophagy without even exercising. Everything is controlled by.
Y'all don't find it strange how motherboards is built like CDs? This is a motherboard. This is what a motherboard looks like. And this is what an actual CD look like. Y'all see the resemblance? A motherboard in a CD. Motherboard in a CD. Is this not crazy? Y'all see this right here? This is a motherboard. Do this not look like the Twin Towers? Does this not look like it's a bridge? I think I'm really starting to understand what they mean by harness the energy. Because let's think about this hypothetically now, right? If a city is the motherboard, then what is the power source? Could we potentially be, hypothetically, the power source? And another question. Did y'all build the cities around motherboards? Or did y'all build the motherboards?
That is so interesting, too. Like, how they have downtowns that look just like a motherboard of, like, a PC. Like, you know, the motherboard. But that is crazy. And then he said, what is the power source? We're the power source, probably. You know? The people that probably live there, like, dang. That's interesting. When you really think about it, like, dang. Shoot, that's how you know we in the Matrix. We are in the Matrix. That's crazy.
That can bring you possibly back to your nature. And that's the earth. That's the grass. That's the soil. That's water. That's spirit. That's meditating. That's listening to music. And I'm not talking about radioactive music where they're using the 808, which is to make it literally capture your root chakra, because the drums and the actual frequency that is beating that. I'm not talking about music that actually make you age, and it makes you speed up your age by disintegrating your telomeres, literally messing up your chromosomes. The new music the new music actually ages you. and makes you live faster. And these are scientific research and evidence that prove these things. All of these things are electron stealers, a relationship. You being with somebody just because you familiar with them, but you know you don't love that other person. That is an electron stealer. You see that? Being unequally yoked, being with somebody who don't have the same passion and the same drive as you. That is an electron stealer. But then on the flip side, you get electron donors, you know, hugging on your baby, increasing oxytocin hormone, binding chemistry. That's an electron donor. Making love to your significant other, the one that you can see you spending the rest of your life. The reason why I put an S at the end, because I really mean that. This spending the rest of your lives with. That's an electron donor. Being around somebody that can help stimulate your thought, for you can have the intellectual conversation to make you think beyond the physical. That's an electron donor. Living in your purpose, wanting to be in that present now, being in the present now, which is creating for real a timeless moment. These are the electron donors.
D4K.co.
You definitely want to get with somebody that's going to like hope you evolve and you involve in them. I agree.
Islamic religion is a very interesting combination of moon worship and Saturn worship and Venus worship. Venus is very big in the Islamic religion. You look up the word sin or Allah, it will tell you that Allah in Islam is actually the moon god Sin, S-I-N. And you'll see moon god virtually everywhere in the Middle East. And then we get to this article points out that the original Yahweh was only another form of this primitive lunar deity of Arabia. So Yahweh of the Hebrew religion was actually Sin, Ai. And this is why even in Israel today, they do not spell synagogue S-Y-N. In Israel, they spell it S-I-N. Because synagogue was the house of worship of the god Sin. Synagogue. Islamic religion is a very interesting combination.
This man was being chased by a skinwalker and he caught it on camera.
Found in eggs. If a jet,
I believe God. Don't speak negative.
Drinking water.
I've always thought
As soon as you.
this is a pro level hack that completely changed.
I just knew that.
Don't react to insults and never forget them. Gentlemen,
I asked the water.
don't react to
Bee venom is the natural Botox. So I can actually attest to bee venom facial care really actually working. I am doing a lot of things to my face at this time in my life, and I want it to all be natural. So I'm taking y'all along for the ride. So stay tuned for my videos because I'm going to be taking you to my appointments. So here's how it works. It's so amazing. So it actually tricks your face into thinking that it is stung. And as a defense mechanism, your body's gonna start to increase blood flow to the area and stimulate oxygen and stimulate collagen and elastin. So it's gonna generate new skin cells, new collagen, and it's gonna fill in the wrinkles and lessen those appearances. And it firms and plumps, thank the Lord. So it's gonna contain inflammatory compounds, so enzymes, peptides, minerals, and amino acids. Also, it's antibacterial, anti-cancer, and antiviral. They say it really helps with acne, FYI. Here's a cool PubMed study that I found just proving that it does actually work. They did it on poor mice, of course. Okay, so this is called Better Than Botox. And I have the roller and I have the face lotion. So I use a face roller and a face lotion. You roll this on all of your areas and then you put the lotion on. You wanna bring blood flow so you can smack yourself in the face really hard, or you can use a gua sha. So do your research. This company is on my site and they don't. Bee venom.
Everything we think comes into existence. So only think things that you want to come into existence. How you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So you gotta protect your mind. And you gotta know it takes 3 minutes for your body to produce a hormone. Your thoughts produce chemicals. So you got a built-in CVS. You got a built-in pharmacy inside of your body. So when you think about something for 3 minutes or more, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great. You said it. What's the word? word? What's the word?
Dopamine.
Dopamine. Your body is going to produce that naturally. 3 minutes or more with a thought that can activate that in your body. And then that chemical, that hormone becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So create the world you want to live in because you're creating the world that you're living in. So create the world that you want to live in because you're creating the world that you live in. Everything we think comes into
energy. Oh, Deontay, Radio Raheem. Oh, listen, man, you said that your people have been fighting for 400 years.
Man, your peoples too.
So I just want you to explain what you mean by that.
You know what I'm talking about. Y'all all know what I'm talking about, man. Don't sit up here and try to bait and not know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the fuck I talk about when I say these things. Your people too.
Explain it. Not everybody knows what you're talking about.
Radio Raheem, I don't have to explain what's understood, man. You know what I mean by that. You know what I said by that. I ain't got to go further. And if anybody don't understand that, then God be with them. Go look up the history. Go look up the history. Shit, don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google that shit. See what I'm talking about.
Deontay, Radio Raheem. Listen, man, you
talking about go Google that. Right? Don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google that.
everything we think comes into existence. So
I asked the water, do you know?
Don't react to insults and never forget them. Gentlemen, keep in mind, if you react to ladies, you are weak. Learn to react less. Shut your mouth. If that energy ain't right, you know how to move around. Any fool can stand up and fight, but it takes a man to walk away. Always control your emotions. A calm mind can handle any situation. Don't react to insults and never forget.
I asked the water, do you know who I am? Then I froze the water and I was flabbergasted because there was this V-A in the ice. My name is Veda Austin. The actual initials of my name were linked in the exact same way that I link my initials naturally. I have used all kinds of words. I wrote the word angel, and this beautiful angel formed in the shape of a woman with these wings. I drew the number 4. And I got the number 4 in the ice.
Water is so malleable, it takes in all perceptions. We know things like thoughts, they create frequencies, literally. We can see this with modern scientific devices. Our thoughts create frequencies, and water is a recorder of frequency. So it makes so much sense that what we think and say consciously to the water is actually going to impact it a lot.
I asked the water, do you know who I am?
You don't get sick because you're getting older. You don't get sick because you have a bad gene. You get sick because your body has lost the nutrients it needs to stay healthy. Period. Linus Pauling said, you can trace the genesis of every disease to mineral deficiencies. Period. You run out of calcium and magnesium, you get high blood pressure, you get low back pain, you get an arthritic problem. You run out of copper, you get hemorrhoids, varicose veins, or aortic aneurysms. You run out of vanadium and chromium, you get blood sugar abnormalities, type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, syndrome X, insulin resistance syndrome, whatever you want to call it. You run out of multiple nutrients, you develop uncontrolled food cravings and become obese. This is not your grandfather's Geritol. This is science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition, and interestingly enough, we offer it up for the masses. You need to educate yourself, ladies and gentlemen, about what you can do right now to support your body's built-in, God-given ability to fix itself, because your medical doctor does not believe in that. You don't get sick because you're getting older. You don't get sick.
This doctor will explain to you step by step how to activate the third eye, proving through science that it is real and not a myth. He'll discuss how to move the cerebrospinal fluid and more. This video answers many questions, so buckle up and let's dive in.
In your brain, there are fluid-filled ventricles, cavities. At the center of your brain, at the same location of your third eye, your brow center, there is a cavity called the third ventricle. The third ventricle is a midline space. Its boundaries are the pituitary gland in front, the pineal gland in back, and the thalamus and the hypothalamus on the sides. The space between these structures, Taoists, or the cave of Brahma in some Hindu yogic traditions. This space is filled with fluid, the cerebrospinal fluid.
What Dr. Mauro Zapatera just mentioned is an essential component of the human body known as CSF, or cerebrospinal fluid. This remarkable fluid plays a crucial role in the functioning of our nervous system. Let's delve deeper into what cerebrospinal fluid is and its importance. The cerebrospinal fluid is a clear, colorless liquid that serves as a protective and nourishing agent for both the brain and the spinal cord. Residing within the brain's ventricles, which can be visualized as cavities shown here in this model, it plays a vital role in cushioning these critical areas. This fluid extends beyond just the internal aspects. It also envelops the brain's external surface, providing an additional layer of protection. Its journey doesn't end there. Cerebrospinal fluid continues its path down the spinal cord, flowing through the central canal and bathing the external surface of the spinal cord as well. This continuous flow ensures that the brain and spinal cord are consistently surrounded by this protective fluid. Interestingly, the human body contains about 150 milliliters of cerebrospinal fluid at any given time. This fluid isn't stagnant. It's continuously replenished, undergoing a complete turnover approximately 3 to 4 times daily. This equates to the body producing between 450 to 600 milliliters of cerebrospinal fluid each day. In simpler terms, every day, our bodies generate about half a liter of this essential fluid, highlighting its significance in maintaining the health and functionality of our central nervous system. Now, let's return to Dr. Mauro Zapatera's presentation. As we continue, everything will start to come together, offering a clearer understanding of the third eye and the pineal gland and their intricate workings.
So what you see here is a sagittal or side view of an MRI of an adult human. The cerebrospinal fluid is colored in red. From this image, you can see how it bathes the entire outside of the brain, as well as the spaces inside and the entire outside of the spinal cord. Our central nervous system is floating in and being bathed by CSF. Interestingly, the spinal cord ends at about lumbar vertebra 2, but the CSF goes all the way down into the sacrum.
So, it's important to know that the human central nervous system is remarkably suspended in a column of fluid. While the brain's actual mass ranges from 1,400 to 1,500 grams, its effective weight, when immersed in cerebrospinal fluid, is significantly reduced to around 25 to 50 grams. This illustrates that the entire central nervous system essentially floats within this fluid. There exists a central column of fluid aligned with our body's midline structure, providing this unique suspension and support.
So, where does this fluid come from? Well, that little black spot in the middle of that image is you. This was you as an embryo. You can see above that the amniotic fluid. Below that you can see the yolk sac. And all around it you can see the chorion. Yep, look at how you are essentially developing surrounded fluid, enclosed in fluid, and totally supported by fluid. You are organized and created with fluid.
So, where does the cerebrospinal fluid originate? Interestingly, it is derived from amniotic fluid through a process known as neurulation. Initially, in the embryonic stage, we start as a simple sheet of cells, as depicted in the image. Within this sheet, there is a specific area called the neural plate, which is a group of cells that undergo a process of invagination and neurulation. During this process, the neural plate folds inward, creating what are known as the neural grooves and neural folds. These folds eventually merge together. Surrounding the neural plate is the amniotic fluid, which plays a crucial role in this developmental phase. As the neural plate undergoes invagination, with the folds rising and eventually fusing, the central area transforms. This central area, which was once part of the external amniotic fluid, gradually becomes what we know as... This doctor will explain to you step by step how to...
The key to loving anyone outside of yourself is to first fall into unconditional self-love with yourself. Most of us actually hate ourselves or judge ourselves or are too critical of ourselves. So I explained last week what your chakra work really is, about the 3 lower chakras versus your upper chakras versus the gateway, which is the heart chakra. Now, in the heart chakra, which is what you get out of the Gnosticism I talked earlier, is actually the true science of the Christ. So all those attributes of Jesus Christ, the healer, the forgiver, of your sins and compassion, the passion of Christ, his compassion, and all of those things that you could attribute to him as actually characteristics you yourself are supposed to develop in the heart chakra through the forgiveness of your own humanity. So you forgive yourself for not being as cute, not being as big, not being as smart, not being as all these things black people are supposed to be as economic, not being powerful enough to do this, being too weak to do that. All these things that you have in your own mind about yourself and things that you are critical of, things that you didn't quite make the mark on, or things that you're embarrassed about yourself, about the bully beat me up, I wish I would have stood up. Let that go. Forgive the bully like Jesus would, because that's actually what you're doing.
D4K.co.
You got a point. Oh.
You're going to notice that you don't get sick as often anymore. And why is that? Because, as I said before, sugar suppresses the immune system, but it also kills the good bacteria in your gut that makes and produces 80% of your immune system. So you're going to notice an improve and sort of your immune system being improved and you getting sick less often. You're also going to notice that you get this younger look about yourself. You're going to look younger. And the reason why you look younger is because, again, sugar is creating these free radicals in the body. And free radicals are essentially is oxidation. Oxidation is rusting, you aging. All right, so sugar is going to age you. Even if you're in your 20s and you're eating a lot of sugar, it's going to age you. You're going to notice that you don't get sick as often anymore. And why is that? Because
every season, every 3 months, you should do a 12-day detox. And every 3 months, every 90 days, do it for at least 12 days. And the reason why I'm saying it is because the whole entire environment is toxic. Think about it. The food is toxic. The air is toxic. The water is toxic. These things we got on our heads right now, plus EMF frequency, my cell phone, which is in my pocket. You go home, you lay down in your bed, and your head is next to wall outlets. Then you got a router and Wi-Fi hooked up. I unplug all that shit before I go to sleep because you are literally getting your electrical magnetic grid of your body hacked into. You understand that these radio waves is permeating and shooting through our cells and changing the way our cells interact with other cells in our body. And this caused the coagulation of cells and blood. So a lot of people walking around with headaches and don't know where headaches coming from. A lot of people are walking around, especially women with fibroids, and don't know where these things is coming from. And it's actually coming from all the EMF frequency. Every season, every 3 months, you should do a 12-day detox. And every 3
my health is my number one thing I'm on right now. Like, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm working towards that. I don't care about anything else because me, I'm not the best multitasker. As I self-reflect, I had to know that. I'm not good at multitasking because I stress out because I want to be a perfectionist with everything, and it stresses myself out. So right now, my health is everything. I'm in the gym sometimes twice a day. I'm trying to watch what I eat. Sometimes I still eat bad. I'm probably going to eat bad after I leave here. But essentially what I'm saying is, my health is number one. I don't care about anything else except getting my health right. And then when I get to a place where I'm happy with my health, then I can probably focus on the
Most people then wait for crisis or trauma or disease or diagnosis. They wait for loss, some tragedy to make up their mind to change. And my message is, why wait? And you can learn and change in a state of pain and suffering, or you can learn and change in a state of joy and inspiration. And I think right now, the cool thing is that people are waking up. Most people spend 70% of their life living in survival and living in stress. So they're always anticipating the worst case scenario based on a past experience. And they're literally, out of the infinite potentials in the quantum field, they're selecting the worst possible outcome, and they're beginning to emotionally embrace it with fear. And they're conditioning their body into a state of fear. Do that enough times, body has a panic attack without you. You can't even predict it because it's programmed subconsciously. So people become addicted to the rush of those emotions, and they use the problems and conditions in their life to reaffirm their limitation, so at least they can feel something. Most people then wait for crisis or trauma or disease or diagnosis. They wait for loss, some tragedy to make up their mind.
I used to tell the bro, like, I'm at a million before 25, and I ain't gonna be hustling at 25. But I really meant that, you know what I'm saying? Like, by 25, I'm having a million, and I ain't gonna be hustling no more on my own, this business, that business. So, like, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur no matter what. I used to tell the bro, like, I'm at a million.
Not enough grounding is the cause of inflammation, because if the body is grounded, you can't have inflammation.
Inflammation is produced by neutrophils, which is a white blood cell. You have an injury, you have a damaged cell. And so these white blood cells come over and they encapsulate the damaged cell and they release reactive oxygen species.
Without earthing, some of the free radicals that are released into the repair field leak into the surrounding tissue, and this can create chronic inflammation.
So we grounded 60 people, and the reports that came in were unbelievable. TMJ disappeared, PMS disappeared, inflammation reduced, pain. Everybody slept better. Not enough grounding is the cause of inflammation, because if the body is grounded, you can't have inflammation.
That's interesting. And they did a study on that too. Because grounding is very important.
You can remember who you were in a past life by drawing this symbol on a piece of paper. Now get a mirror that you can stand in front of. Grab the paper in your left hand and look at yourself in the mirror. Then say, "This is me now, show me then." If done correctly, you'll have a huge flood of memories coming in. But not every past life is good and something that should be seen. Ever try this? You can remember who.
Yeah, I don't drink. I just stopped drinking. I used to drink, and I wasn't an alcoholic. Like, whenever you tell people you don't drink, they always want an explanation. They always want to know what happened. Was it a problem? Was you beating your kids? Did you ruin marriages? Did you kill somebody in the vehicle? Like, what happened? We can't believe you don't drink poison. Explain to us why you don't drink poison. I don't get the shock. Like, if I was to tell somebody, man, I don't never drink water, they'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't drink. I just stopped drinking.
The masses are trained to think or to believe that when you or I or anyone else says spirit, they're talking about what the masses know as religion. Spirit means breath and nothing else. Spirituality is essentially the art of breathing. This practice activates the cells which have memory in them. It's akin to what you might term as body washing baptism. Consider the act of fasting, which cleanses the cells. Similarly, breathing is a method of energizing them. This is crucial, especially when oxygen is not reaching vital areas, like the pituitary gland. This very act of breathing serves a purpose. It activates or stimulates our cells to acquire knowledge. This knowledge, termed as gnosis, is a philosophy. It is a rebinding to the memories that reside in our cells, memories of our ancient lineage. The masses are trained to think or to believe that when you or I or anyone else says spirit, they're talking.
This is how you raise your vibration permanently. You cannot go back after you say these affirmations. Repeat after me. I am shifting my reality to always feel good. I am abundant inside and out, and every time I breathe, things attract to me. The universe always has my back and wants the best for me. If you want to claim this permanently, say yes in the comments. This is how you raise your vibration permanently. You cannot.
Your ancestors ate dairy, gluten, and carbs, but not seed oils. Seed oils are new to the American diet, and because of health food chains like Chipotle and Kava, they now make up 20% of our calories. On Seed Oil Scout, we've interrogated over 15,000 restaurants nationwide, helping you find the ones that cook with stable fats like beef tallow and avocado oil. Dine fearlessly. Your ancestors ate dairy, gluten, and carbs, but not seed oils. Seed oils are new to the American diet.
What's that? Ancient Mayan.
Brain is always looking for evidence to confirm what you have told it. So if the story in your mind is things are always shit and never working out for me, your brain is going to cherry pick everything in your life that reinforces that. This is why when people start to say things like, show me how it gets better, I know it can get better than this. It starts to, because your brain is going to start looking for evidence for that to be true. It's a confirmation bias, and it doesn't have to be rooted in negativity. Your brain will start to cherry pick the things that are good. and that show that life has the capacity to be better. Your mind is just doing its job. It's looking for proof to reinforce the reality that you have created for yourself up there. So be intentional about the reality you're creating. Your brain is all
sick relatives are living on drama. They love drama. So they will always keep it stirred up in the family. Some kind of drama, fighting each other, talking about each other, gossiping about each other. This is all toxic, people. If your family is like this, you need to distance yourself from them. Toxic relatives are living on drama. They love drama. So they will always keep it stirred up in the family.
I'm gonna show you guys something crazy. Have you ever seen something so crazy?
The lay plates, or discs as often called, are made out of clay or wood of about 5 centimeters and placed in the lower lip. In order for it to fit well, 3 or 4 teeth are removed. The use of large lay plates is the most visible distinguishing feature of these two Omo Valley tribes, the Masi and the Suri, who are also believed to be the last groups in Africa where women still wear large pottery or wooden discs. So, the question is, why the lay plates? Well, checks led us to 2 theories. First theory has it that it was historically a means of making women less appealing to slave traders, but this was refuted by both tribes. The second suggests that the plate's size indicates the number of cattle paid as a bride price. In Morsi or Suri cultures, wearing a lip plate is best regarded as an expression of social adulthood and reproductive potential. Once a girl gets her lip pierced, it marks the transition to full womanhood. The lip plates, or discs as often called, are made.
That is so disturbing. Like, they really do this. I can never do it, man. That's crazy.
You got to declare yourself generator, operator, and destroyer. Islam, I self, Lord and Master. You have to become the entity of the universe. They say, well, you inherit the earth. And I'm going to tell you, I got it in here. White people said on the internet, I got the .com number. They said on the internet last summer, they said that the Africans in America are the heirs to the earth. You see, so my point here is, the key here now is, you either got to start thinking like a God, or you got to think like a human. If you think like a human, he's still lording over you as long as humanity is still in session, I'm the white man, and you got to abide by my law. But when you think as a God, you no longer have to abide by his laws, not even with him. He don't cross that fucking line. But even on the spiritual level, once you think that, it's just like anything else. Once you become something, you get all the energy. It's just like the movie Last Dragon. He was looking for to be the master, and in the middle of to the end of the movie, he found out that he was the master. Then all the energy came, just like the movie Matrix. Until he found out that moment, that he said, fuck this, I ain't going no more. I'll keep you in your motherfucking ass, and I know I got the damn shit to do with it. He came into his godhood. And the guy said, it's only when he woke up. And that's what you got to understand now with this particular science. That you have to take, humanity has to reinvent itself. It was only in this childhood stages all these years. Now we talking about a full adulthood, but it ain't talking about whether you can get another motherfucking damn SUV or a cell phone with some bullshit.
D for K. Ever try this? You can remember who you were in a past life by drawing this symbol on a piece of paper. Now get a mirror that you can stand in front of, grab the paper.
This is the reason why you can't read auras or experience any spiritual benefits. You have to remember your pineal gland allows you to experience things beyond the body. Now, if your pineal gland is calcified, which most of the population is, then you're being cut off from that sixth sense. The ability to pick up on energy, to have that strengthened intuition, to be able to read auras, etc. Yeah, you might be able to do it a little bit now, but once it's open, it's completely more intense. Because of the food, the water, the toothpaste, all the bullshit that you put in your body is keeping your pineal gland closed. That's what they want to happen, because once your pineal gland is not open, you can't see through the bullshit that they putting on us. Makes your empathy for people lower and lowers that magnetic connection. Blatantly disconnected with your higher self. You might be thinking, how do I open my pineal gland? Number one, just detox. Cut off all that bullshit from going to your body. Start purifying your blood and your brain with herbs. There's herbs out here that can completely detox the pineal gland. If you want to get you a third eye blend, I recommend that y'all tap in with gobeyond5d.com. It's a lot of herbs on this website that can help with your spiritual development. Check it out, let me know what y'all think. Love y'all. This is the reason why you can't read auras or experience any
That is crazy though, like how you can be like disconnected just because your third eye is not, you're not activated. Because now you can't even see past the veil. You know, it's like it's all foggy. You can't, you know. It's crazy though. But a lot of people is like that, you know. It's tough. I mean, hey. There's we're in a matrix.
A legal battle is over. The mistake is happening in Pennsylvania. Jeffrey Rollins.
I dare you to drink tap water after watching this video. This is absolutely insane. You might just want to show this to your friends and family to raise awareness.
That is disgusting. That was actually so disgusting. What the freak?
You might just save someone by showing them this video. I dare you to drink tap water after watching this video. This is
So that is that what that means when the dog is having, that's what that means when that means the dog is having a nightmare. Damn.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Something big gonna happen on August 8th, 2024, but he's reading a book from a person that claims to be from a secret government project called the Project Looking Glass, and saying that August 8th, 2024, something really bad's gonna happen.
Well, look at that. Another doomsday date. Now, before people freak out, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with this. All I want to do is point out a few things, because this date is symbolic because it is the 8th month on the 8th day, so you have 88, and then 2 plus 2 plus 4 is also 8, so you have 888. Now, that could mean absolutely nothing, but at the same time, it sure does seem like we live in the Matrix where we are governed by numbers with the fabric of time and space, and with that, the number 88 or 888 is symbolic to the powers that be. And it seems like the number 88 is symbolic and significant, and it pops up a lot. And with that, I want to show you a few things about the number 88, the symbolism behind it with the occult, and also its tie with Donald Trump. Okay, first off, Trump in simple gematria is 88. Donald J. Trump in English gematria is 888. Masonic Messiah is also 888. FBI executed a search warrant at Mar-a-Lago, which is the residence of Donald Trump. And this happened on August 8th, 88. And then 2 times 2 times 2 is also 8, so 888. Donald Trump was elected on November 8th, 11/8, 11 times 8. 88. When Donald Trump got banned off of Twitter years ago, he had 88 million followers. In the movie Donnie Darko, the main character, Donnie, which is Donald, is told by a voice in his head that the world will end 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, and 12 seconds. You add these all together, you have 88. And in that same movie, in the medicine cabinet, you have Donald, his medication, with the year 1988. 88. If you want to donate to Donald Trump for the election, you must text 88022. So again, the 88. In the movie Back to the Future, you must hit 88 miles per hour to time travel. And in that movie, the villain Biff is symbolic of Donald Trump. Once again, you can see the symbolism everywhere. And since we are on the topic of time travel, we have the book Baron Trump that was written in 1889, so again the 88, which was about a kid named Baron Trump who would time travel. And in this book, Baron Trump lives in a building named after himself called Castle Trump. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that Donald Trump's youngest son is named Baron. Oh yeah, and by the way, in this novel, Baron Trump has a travel guide named Dawn. Okay, let's get back to the 88 symbolism. The sun and moon always follow the same path and they make an 8. And by the way, the 8 is a sign of infinity. It is also symbolic of a new beginning, or symbolic of resurrection. We have the idea that on the 8th day, God will create a new heaven and a new earth. The number 88 is also symbolic of the 2 towers, or the 2 pillars of masonry, which you have the sun and moon symbolism, not to mention the black sun, Saturn symbolism, which again is Saturn worship we see here in Mecca and we see at Trump Tower. And again, at another Trump Tower with the black cube. You can do further research into the black cube and Saturn worship. It is very deep in the occult. So yeah, there you go. Some weird coincidences. And the only reason why I'm making this video is because I came across this video.
You guys, there's a skimmer on here.
You gotta pay for that. There, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. Why? What happened?
This is a skimmer.
What?
See that? A skimmer. See that? You see here? It's not broken. It's a skimmer. It's how you take people's money, get their credit card information. This is how you get people's credit card information. The scammer will put this on. People will use their credit card. It will capture their credit card information, and that's what happens. You guys, there's a skimmer on here.
You don't have to do the same thing when you go to a fruit. The minerals already is accumulated from the soil because they go through mycorrhizas type of things. It moves through the tree trunk. The sun hits on it. It go through photosynthesis and it changes the structure of. But would I have rather had some juice that came from fruits? Hell yeah. So that's all I'm saying. You don't have to do the same thing when you go to a fruit. The mineral.
All right, someone explain this to me. You see these 2 rainbows here, all right, which are coming from the reflection of this corner and this corner of the glass. Just like this one is here as well, coming from that corner, as well as this one coming from that corner. So when we see a rainbow outside in the sky, shaped like this, where is that coming from? The only explanation would be if we were to have some form of rounded glass structure above us. If you've never heard of the firmament, look up the firmament and research and educate yourself. I'm not
think about using any herbs or any sea moss or any type of those holistic medicine if you're not ready to submit, if you're not ready to keep yourself accountable, if you're still eating all the processed food, you're still eating the junk food, you're still eating the Popeyes, you stop it. You're fooling yourself. You're playing yourself. All right? Herbs and holistic medicine is just not a one-trick pony. You have to be in synergy with the herbs. You got to fast and detox. You got to keep yourself accountable. All you're doing is literally just playing yourself. You're not keeping it real and you're not disciplining yourself. You need to discipline yourself in order to get to the next level. So don't even think about reaching out to me talking about, yo, Scott, what I need to take, and you're still drinking alcohol and you're still eating all that junk food. All right? Take accountability and discipline yourself. You're gonna get to the next level. Let's go. Think about using any herbs or any sea moss.
Boys are calling, crazy girl! I hope she sings this tonight. I know. Hey Dad, whoever, we need gum.
I'm on it. Oh, honey? Here's some money.
What do we got here?
Hello.
Boys is calling, crazy girl.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You need to stop going back to that person that you broke up with. It's not meant to be. I know it's easier said than done because it may hurt. Y'all was once one. Some people come in for a reason and some people come in for a season. Maybe you just ain't believe it. Where's your mind at? You can't unsee it. Because everybody ain't meant to be with you for the long run. Learn to let go and just have fun. You're young. It's okay to feel dumb. But you don't have to hold on to this person like it's your last one. You're gonna hurt your own feelings. Not trying to listen to the divine. Because you know what the divine is? It's your right mind. Hey! So, I'm gonna need you to move smart. Reflection. Knowing when to let go will take some internal introspection. And that just simply means you need to look within. Not run back to that toxic ex. Because they got you dig down again. Hey! You already be knowing. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
There is something that humans do that makes our brain reduce in volume. And the more we do this, we start releasing a chemical in our brain that causes disoriented thinking, delusions, even hallucinations. We can even lose up to 3% of cortical gray matter. Gray matter is the outermost layer that processes information. So many people do this, and if they don't become aware of this, or they don't get help for this, 10 to 12 cc's of brain tissue can be permanently damaged. What can cause this disruption and change in our brain is when we are unable to say maybe. It sounds ridiculous, but maybe is one of the most powerful words for your brain. When we believe something to our core, nobody could shake that belief. When facts disprove it, we still believe it. Our brain can reduce in volume. Whatever we believe to our core, our reticular activating system will filter out any information that contradicts that. When we say maybe, we are preventing our brain from going into psychosis. Psychosis doesn't always mean somebody running in the streets waiting for God or aliens to take them. How to prevent this is just to become aware, to challenge our biases, understanding that our beliefs are okay to have, but they're not right for everyone, making peace with our fears and releasing control. There is something that humans do that makes our brain reduce in volume. And the more we do
He do have a point. That is true. Damn, I never looked at it like that. Somebody said he gotta be No, I never looked at it like that. Dang. I mean, that I guess that's the part of living though, you know. Yeah. We just learn differently from them. That's how I look at it. Just being human is a learning experience. That's all it is.
Always remember this when you're feeling bad about where you at in life.
Crumbs are left for those who wait. You should only be patient for things that require patience. Make the world the one that you want. Patience is trash. Sometimes it's an excuse. Sometimes it's what the weak say. Only a fool would say great things come to those who wait. Great things are earned by those who hustle. Crumbs are left for those who wait.
I operate in full abundance 24/7. As you begin to learn it, you get better and better and better. Does it mean I have $1 billion in the bank in my personal name? No. But what it means is I live in total abundance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whatever I need, all my needs are met. Whatever I need to acquire, I can acquire it. Whatever needs to happen, it's going to happen. This is what you need to be able to do to utilize the law of attraction in a proper way. Utilize manifestation, meditation, utilize positive frequency, positive energies, vibrate at a high vibration so you can sync with universal consciousness, and then be able to tap the intuition to recognize the opportunities as they presented themselves to you from universal consciousness directly into your life so that you can manifest the reality that you're looking for. I operate in full abundance 24/7. As you begin.
This is going to piss people off, but it's my belief. It's what my ancestry believes, and it's what Rostas believe. 12 tribes of Judah, Hebrew Israelites, are what we know today as black people in America, are descendants from those tribes. And reading Exodus and how it talks about when you will be taken into captivity and scattered amongst the land, you'll forget my name, you're going to have oppressors, and you're going to be taught their traditions, you're going to do all their stuff, and you're not going to have yours anymore. If you look at every religion, from Buddha, they have their God. You look at Islam, they have theirs. You look at everyone's religion, they have their deity except for black people. What is the black religion? This is going to piss people off, but it's my belief. It's what my ancestors.
By age 30, 95% of all men and women over the age of 30 will never sprint again for the rest of them. So by not challenging ourselves, by not exposing ourselves to different thermal temperatures, it's very good to submerge yourself in cold water. Yeah. You know, cold plunging is a trend that's really, really catching on, but it has a lot of validity. I mean, for people that can't afford or don't want to get into a cold plunge, you can take a cold shower. By age 30, 95% of all men and women.
You really gotta be on your stuff, man, for real. Man, because you do not want to be, you know, that, especially if you're younger. You do not want to be that age and then, yeah, it's crazy.
Dr. Sebi will always be the architect of the CMOS movement. Why is this CMOS so important? So the name of it, he coined the phrase CMOS, but Irish moss comes from the sea, and it comes from beautiful parts of the world. It grows on coral, which carries a lot of minerals, and when you get it and harvest it the right way, which I keep his way of doing that, but you want to know that you have a high quality amount of minerals. Because see, when you go to the doctor, what's the first thing that they give you?
An IV.
What's the IV filled with?
Salt water and minerals.
And minerals, all type of minerals. So is sea moss. So is Irish moss. So if we did this on a daily basis, what in turn would happen to our body? If they give it to us on entering, that means we're at a lack of minerals and water. So one of the things he found is that not only does it carry minerals, but it opens up the gut to receive the minerals from the food that you have. So this in tune does what for the body? You're fueling, but you're also at a cellular level, giving the body what it requires. What it does is it increases your immune system. It increases your nervous system, but it's so good for the body that I haven't found anything stronger. It is a superfood as far as I'm concerned. Dr. Sebi will always be the architect of the.
Anytime I feel myself getting sick or anything, I just know it's imperative to go raw, and that's how I've raised my kids. They know as soon as they get sick, okay, you've been eating quite a lot of cooked or processed food. The number one thing to improve their diet, I would say, to increase the amount of raw organic food that you consume. One of the big maxims from Hippocrates, father of modern medicine, was let food be thy medicine, medicine thy food. That was the quote from him. You're going to have to learn to make and love a good salad. Maybe make some good salad dressing. It does help. It's the natural way to eat. If you were in nature, that's why you don't see osteoporosis and all these forms of cancer in animals other than our pets. The number one way that change gets made is by example. People see other people. That's why every person in this room, every person watching this is a light to their friends. Anytime I feel myself getting sick or anything, I just know it's imperative to go raw, and that's how I've raised my kids. They know as soon as they get sick, okay, you've been eating quite a lot of cooked or processed food. The number one thing to improve their diet, I would say, to increase the amount of raw organic food that you consume. One of the big maxims from Hippocrates, father of modern medicine, was let food be thy medicine, medicine thy food. That was the quote from him. You're going to have to learn to make and love a good salad. Maybe make some good salad dressing.
Good evening. I want you to turn to the person next to you. I want you to look him in the eye and introduce yourself.
In the profile. That's crazy. It has so many religions, though. That's crazy.
Eyes, which goes to your pineal, and the photons that come on those angles of light carry messages, and it happens when you close your eyes. Your pineal is stimulated when you close your eyes. Now the powers that be don't want you to use it, and thus we've all heard of calcification. You can decalcify your pineal gland. So the Vatican know of this knowledge. They truly know of it. They cannot not know of it. And the pine cone sits on the staff of the Pope also. I've mentioned this before. What is this pineal gland that everyone's talking about, and what happens when you trigger it or activate it in meditation, as people always ask? Well, the pineal gland is a very interesting organ in your body, or gland as it is, and it's actually filled with fluid. And surrounded around there are very similar structures to that of the retina of the eye. Now, something which is very, very interesting about the pineal is that it's connected to the same sensory visual part of your brain as what your two eyes are. Now, inside this fluid, they say there are small crystals. And of course, the pineal eyes, which goes to your pineal. And the photons that
A superpower so potent it could create life, fuel your dreams, and unlock the secrets of the universe. Now imagine flushing it down the toilet daily. Sounds dumb, right? Well, that's exactly what you're doing every time you masturbate. Take a deep breath. Feel that energy coursing through you? That's your life force, your power, and you're squandering it. For what? A fleeting moment of pleasure? Masturbation isn't just a harmless habit, it's actively killing your spirit. Uncomfortable? Good. Growth happens at the edge of discomfort. Grow up. Ask yourself, are you truly living up to your full potential? Are you as energized, focused, and spiritually connected as possible? If not, what you're about to hear might just revolutionize your life. This isn't about morality or religion. It's about tapping into ancient wisdom that modern science is only beginning to grasp. It's about reclaiming your power and unleashing your true potential. In Taoist philosophy, they speak of Jing, your body's most precious essence. Think of it as the oil in your car's engine. Every ejaculation depletes this essence, this life force energy. The ancient Taoists believed that 100 drops of blood were required to create 1 drop of semen. That's how valuable they considered this fluid. But ejaculating is natural. You're probably thinking, well, it's not natural, you're in a mental paradigm. You've been caught in a construct, conditioned to believe that it's natural to self-pleasure and to ejaculation. And even if it was natural, we all know the consequences of overindulgence. You can't ascend to your highest self while constantly indulging your lowest impulses. It's like trying to climb a mountain while digging a hole beneath your feet. Let me get specific about what you're losing with each ejaculation. Semen is a complex fluid containing over 200 separate proteins, as well as vitamins B12, C and E, zinc, calcium, citric acid, fructose, and other nutrients. You're literally expelling life-giving substances from your body that are meant to be used to create a human baby. This is not rhetoric, this is a fact. But it's not just about the physical components, it's about the energy, the potential, the very essence of creation that you're carelessly tossing away. Every time you masturbate, you're choosing momentary pleasure over long-term power and vitality. Think about the most successful, charismatic people you know. Have you ever noticed an aura of magnetism around them? He's got aura. That's the power of retained sexual energy. When you stop wasting this energy, you start radiating a charisma that attracts success, opportunities, and deep connections. Comment below if you know you've been depleting these vitamins and nutrients. Hey there,
Stay focused, that's right.
Jesus, aka Yeshua, right? Yeshua is a real person, or was a real person, because I've been to Egypt, you've been to Egypt. I don't know if you guys went to Coptic Cairo after I left to see the house where he actually slept in, which is now a Coptic church. So, and also the entire path that he took through Egypt, staying from home to home, is all there documented, well documented in Egypt. So he disappears from the Bible at the age of 12, and he goes on this journey. He goes to Tibet to learn Reiki healing and Qigong. He goes to India to learn the mystic arts. And then he, all the way back, he's teaching reincarnation. This is in the Gospel of the Holy 12, which was withheld from the biblical canonized Bible. And so you're talking about a person that had a high vibration, that may even have been an avatar himself. You know, could he even be Thoth, right? Could he be Hermes, come back in a different way? Instead of transferring to another body, say, you know, I'm going to come back through the womb this time. Now, some of the words that Jesus spoke, I believe, were remixed and changed because the Bible was not written in real time. Jesus, aka Yeshua, right? Yeshua is
Your phone is a digital footprint of your mind. Siri backwards is iris, the iris of your eyes. Now, this is not your physical eye, it's your inner eye, the all-seeing eye of your mind. That's why it's called an iPhone. Every thought you are thinking is manifested into action onto these phones. Therefore, your phone is a digital footprint of your mind, and this is how artificial intelligence has been created. It was not generated by these people. We, as a collective consciousness, a collective mind, have manifested our thoughts into these devices which is tracking it. And what they have done is collected all of this data and created an artificial consciousness, an artificial mind, or AI.
What's the connection with us and shrooms? Don't like both of like the shrooms and us got the fungi in it?
Yep, we got fungi in us. In fact, if it wasn't for mold spores or what you call shrooms, we wouldn't exist. Just like, remember I was talking in the beginning of the video how we was made from fungus, we was made from archaea, we was made from bacteria, microorganisms, and we was made from viruses. So
Right.
if you look at what shrooms is, shrooms are part of our creation process. And they say shrooms were put here by our ancestors to keep us connected to our ancestors, or what you would call these extraterrestrial beings. They say they was brought here on planet Earth to get us back in contact with them when we developed throughout our evolutionary process. So shrooms are amazing, bro. Shrooms are amazing for the body, shrooms are fully alkaline.
You will never look at a bad situation the same after you watch this video.
Once upon a time, there was a Chinese farmer who lost a horse, ran away, and all the neighbors came round that evening and said, "That's too bad." And he said, "Maybe." The next day, the horse came back and brought 7 wild horses with it. And all the neighbors came around and said, "Why, that's great, isn't it?" And he said, "Maybe." The next day, his son was attempting to tame one of these horses and was riding it and was thrown and broke his leg. And all the neighbors came round in the evening and said, "Well, that's too bad, isn't it?" And the farmer said, "Maybe." The next day, the conscription officers came around looking for people for the army. And they rejected his son because he had a broken leg. And all the neighbors came round at the evening and said, "Isn't that wonderful?" And he said, "Maybe." The whole process of nature is an integrated process of immense complexity. And it is really impossible to tell whether anything that happens in it is good or bad, because you never know what will be the consequences of a misfortune, or you never know what will be the consequences of good fortune.
Even when it's raining and storming outside, you still have the ability to find the sunlight. That's the key to most people's success stories. If you want to read some life-changing books, actually life-changing books that's not going to waste your
Them crowds do be doing their job sometimes, but not all the time. That's gonna be, you know. Maybe one day, like some days, rain, and then it just go right back sunny.
Claimed he found a dead mouse inside a can of Mountain Dew he was drinking, so he sued the SOA's parent company, PepsiCo. PepsiCo argued that Mountain Dew's highly acidic formula would actually dissolve a mouse body into a jelly-like substance before anyone could ever even notice it in the can. This odd defense left consumers worrying about what the soda really does to the human body if it can liquefy a mouse. A man claimed he...
Peace to the gods and goddesses. I hope everyone's having a phenomenal day. Today we are in the midst of the Lionsgate portal, with it being 888. And if you ever studied the science of the gods and the earths, you know that 8 mean build or destroy. The number 8 mean build or destroy. All right. In order to build, you obviously have to destroy what was previously there. All right. It's a representation of infinity also. With that being said, there's new portals and celestial gateways being opened. And it's very important that you protect yourself and ensure that you are on guard for any malevolent forces. For starters, the best form of spiritual protection is a high frequency. What you see behind me is dragon's blood resin powder, alright? And this was actually used by the Guanche people to cast away malevolent forces. Dragon blood actually comes from the Draco tree, alright? This tree is referred to as the Draco tree. And in ancient times, they actually believed this dragon blood to be magical for expelling malevolent forces. You may have seen those videos of trees bleeding. Alright, this is actually the Draco tree that you have seen. And it has a very peculiar color sap that is typically a vibrant red. The Guanches were indigenous people from Canary Island. This is located in the Atlantic Ocean west of Morocco. They arrived in an archipelago around the 1st millennium BCE. And a Draco tree is a tree that typically grows in very tough conditions near volcanoes and harsh weather. The sap that it produced looked like blood. In ancient times, the people of this land felt the tree to be magical. believed that the trees were actually owned by dragons. Now they refer to this as sap, but if you ask me, I personally feel like this is a different species of tree altogether. Now the Guanches actually use what they refer to as this dragon blood for multiple things, okay? They actually would put it on their wounds. They would actually burn it as well, and they believed that it created a protective shield around them. They also believed that burning this dragon blood substantially increased their spiritual connection. In fact, lots of shamans and mystics really love to utilize the dragon's blood. They also utilize it for smudging. Dragon's blood has been said to substantially increase your power. When I say power, I'm referring to spiritual power, psychic abilities, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and things of that nature. I do have the dragon's blood resin powder available on Holistic Remedies for Ascension.
Alright, y'all. That's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day today. Sending peace, abundance, prosperity, and good health your way. Make sure you take care of yourself. And hey, it's not too hot. It's good weather. Get outside, get some sunlight. Alright, with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next upload. Peace.